What's going on, everyone? It's Brendan again. So in this video, I kind of want to give an update as to what has been happening recently. So I recently launched a couple of businesses, and kind of through doing so, I've decided that I want to kind of change the style of content that I'm making. Previously on this channel, I've done longer podcast kind of length videos, but because basically what I'm doing is the whole purpose of this channel is to explore manifestation and teach manifestational techniques that work, that I've discovered and that I've been using for a long time. And over the past number of years, using these meditations and exploring with them on my own and seeing how they go, I have achieved everything that I've wanted to. Originally, I desired to have a career in tree work, and within a very short, any time I kind of put myself to the test and started to focus upon what I wanted, I would get results significantly quicker than I was qualified to get, so to speak. And time again, they've worked again and again and again and again. And it got to the point where they were working with such, sorry, it looked like there was a flea on my dog. There wasn't. They've worked with such success that I got drawn to the point where I wanted to teach them. And so for the past number of years, I've been slowly developing, I've been creating content, I've been doing a whole bunch of stuff. Let me move this down slightly. I've been creating content and I've been sharing this information for quite some time, in hopes to help other people do so. And it eventually led me to the point where I was having such rapid success with what I was doing that I began to get the calling to pursue this for a career. And it happened in a very strange way. I've gone over it in the past, but I was a professional arborist for a number of years, climb trees, prune trees, remove trees, all that kind of stuff with chainsaws and everything. And it was the most fun job. And the reason I got into it is because I knew that I wanted to do something creative with my life, but I knew that doing something creative at the time wasn't something that I could just jump into and succeed at. And so I jumped into tree work because I thought it was the coolest thing, the coolest day job you could possibly have, which I still fully believe. And once I got to the point where I had kind of conquered my goals within tree work, a few things happened which really pushed me down this avenue. And everything that I talk about is related to psychic development and development of the psychic senses, development of the intuition. And it all comes down to visualization and meditation and manifestation, but also acting upon your impulses and physical development too. And so over the past about 3 months, so since the very beginning of May 1st is kind of when I decided to jump ship on my career, many interesting things have happened. I've recorded a lot of what has been going on in previous videos, just crazy things that you can't really, that someone would think you're crazy for talking about, but they're all real and they all keep happening. And it's at the point where I want to teach people how to do this also. And so I've launched a couple of businesses recently that I've been drawn to do. The first one was Sumari Studios. I believe the last video I released was before or just after I had done this. So basically, Sumari Studios is my recording studio, which is let's just call it a sacred spiritual space for artists to discover who they are. We do a lot of meditations, a lot of visualization, a lot of emotional work to figure out what the artist actually wants to create, a unique product which is, unique and special to them, which is artistic, and it focuses upon the importance of the art rather than the focus of, let's say, what's commercially successful at the moment. And I launched this business, and that was the first of the move. So the long-term goal or the goal that I'm working toward is a few different parts. It's to create the best music I can create and play that and tour it around the world. It's to have a studio where it is a spiritual space to help artists become aware of their own capabilities and their own potential with their own artistic desires and their creative desires. And the other is to teach this information. It's to teach spirituality. It's to teach manifestation. It's to teach psychic development. And so some interesting things happened. So after launching the studio, I also released my EP. It's called the Werewolf EP. And this was a piece of music that I've been working on for quite some time. And again, it was one of these things where I was just getting in my head about being a perfectionist and it had to be perfect. And I recorded this song probably about 4 times over. It goes for about 20 minutes. But I finally released it because I felt like in order to move on, because I'd had this piece of music for so long, I just felt like I was holding on to the old version of myself that was still involved with, working the day job and being frustrated with the world. And I had so much music that I was working upon that is focused on the future. And I just felt like releasing this music into the world would just kind of relieve me of the past version of myself. And as the rule of manifestation goes, you get what you focus upon. And by focusing upon trying to get this thing perfect and working on it all the time, I was just preventing myself from moving toward a better future. So I released this song, launched my studio, sold all of my tree equipment, like my tree climbing gear, and began to focus solely on this future. And as I said, the one rule of manifestation is that you get what you focus upon. And so what I've been slowly but surely focusing upon more and more is this reality and this future that I specifically want. And over the past 3 months since, or 2.5 months since leaving my career and doing this, I've been learning a lot about the way that manifestation works. And the fact is that if you focus upon the stresses and the nuances and the challenges ahead, that will create those challenges for you. And so by essentially what I'm trying to do now with this video is I am using this as a catalyst to focus fully on only what I want rather than focusing upon all the other things. Because the fact is that I still have bills. I still need to make money. I still have all of the challenges that a regular person would have in their life. But the thing that most people do is they see what they want to achieve in their life, and they compromise on the vision because they're worried that they won't succeed at it. And what I'm trying to do is the complete opposite. So the entire what's the word for it? Not project, but the entire experiment that I'm making is that I am seeing what happens if you follow nothing but your intuition, like literally just your intuition. So throwing logic out the window, throwing all of the regular commonly held limiting beliefs that we have out the window. And I'm seeing if it's possible to actually live a life of pure enjoyment. And so since quitting my career, I've been focusing upon all of those areas of my life. So I've been, again, built my studio and playing guitar as much as I want and practicing all of my, my creative endeavors. I've been spending heaps of time with my animals. I've been going for like lots of walks and lots of, just doing everything that's fun. I've been eating really well, been hitting the gym, been hanging out with my friends, been hanging out with my parents. And I've gotten to the point where I've learnt that the more that I have done what I love, the more that I am doing the things that I feel the most myself doing, so expressing my creativity and being in good company, it's evolved me as a human. And I have so much more time. I have so much more compassion. I have so much more just love and empathy for the people around me. I have time to listen. I have time to help. And it's gotten to a point where through this whole thing, there is always that question of, man, am I making the right decision? Should I be doing this? Was leaving my career a good choice? But I look back to who I was when I was doing that job, and I wasn't this version of myself. I was a lot more agitated. I had less time for people. It's because I was, and although I loved the job, it was fantastic, but it wasn't the thing that I was in love with. And because of that, I was compromising on who I was as a person. And as I said, through abandoning that version of myself and pursuing this version of myself, I have truly found peace within my life. And it's a kind of peace that can only be experienced. It can't be explained. It's a sense of peace of waking up and not feeling stress. It's a sense of peace of knowing that everything's going to be okay, knowing that life is fantastic, knowing that every day is going to provide something of significant fulfillment and joy and something that will inspire you. And so far, things just keep happening. It's like when you go on this journey and you start listening to your intuition and nothing else except for your dreams, and you begin sharing this with the people around you, good things just don't seem to stop happening. And I know that sounds strange, but every single day, just something of significant magnitude just happens. And as I said, I've been documenting this. I've been making these podcast episodes, but again, like when it comes to manifestation, I've explained this before, but it's like we all live on probable timelines, improbable realities. And what you're focusing upon at the moment, say you've got your mortgage and you've got the stresses of your job, and things aren't good with your partner and you're not doing the things that you love, and you're focusing on this realm. The fact that you are focusing on all of these areas of your life, it is building a momentum toward that reality existing. Whereas if you are to focus upon the things that you truly love, like being with your animals, sharing positive information, and being selfless, and focusing on your creativity, and focusing upon a world and a reality where you are truly joyful doing the thing that you love and nothing else, this momentum begins to build, and that reality that you've been experiencing that you're not fond of slows down. And the thing that I'm beginning to learn is that this momentum never slows down. And this is why I've kind of shifted the style of the videos that I'm trying to make, because at the beginning, I was able to make a video every week or two, because that's how long it would take for me to have enough information to share. Whereas now making a video every week or two is not enough. And I go to make a video and I am overwhelmed by the amount of things that I have to explain. And so this is why I've shifted the kind of videos that I'm trying to make to a more vlog style thing, because I'm now experiencing crazy things on a daily basis. And I'll give you an example of how this stuff works. So long story short, if you envision something that you want to happen and you think about it like this, when you begin visualizing, or at least acting upon an impulse that you wish to bring into fruition, for example, myself, I decided that I wanted to become the best guitarist I can possibly become. And I'm not talking about just like being good. I'm talking about being one of the best on the planet. Like that's the goal that I want to achieve, right? Now, when you thrust something like this into the world, you need to think about it as the way that we construct a sentence, right? When we begin talking to one another, or when you begin a sentence, you don't know where that sentence is going to end, but you do trust that it will, and you know that you're going to get to the conclusion of where you're going because you trust it. You know that inherently you are communicating a feeling or an emotion, and you don't question that the conversation is going to lead where you're trying to take it. You just trust that it will. And the same is with life and with these manifestations and with visualizing. As long as you are putting in the action to go where you wish to go, you will end up there as long as you stay on the path and you focus upon it. And so not too long ago, and again, with these techniques that I teach, and I'm fairly sure I may have shared some of them. I'll make some videos based upon some simple ones to do, but it's all based upon visualization. It's about meditating. It's upon visualizing the reality which you want to experience and which you want to happen. And by focusing upon the reality that you wish to happen, universal mechanics come into play, which begin to thrust that into motion, that build a momentum toward it. And the more you focus upon it, and the more love and the more intention that you place into it, the quicker it will happen for you. And typically, like, I've never had to wait more than 3 weeks for something to happen. And so not too long ago, I'm talking maybe 2 weeks ago or less, I realized, okay, if I'm about to become an entrepreneur, if I'm about to succeed in what I'm doing, I need to become the best musician that I can, because the basis and the foundation of what I'm teaching is the importance of creativity. And if I can't display that I am an authority on creativity by being the best that I can possibly be, then I don't have a place sharing this kind of stuff. So I put it out into the universe, and I was like, I want to become the best guitarist I can possibly become. And so once I threw that out, this began to form a universal mechanic, which would then start guiding me toward that reality. And the first thing that I felt is I got a very deep intuition. Now, when I talk about psychic development is the process of strengthening your psychic senses, your psychic muscles. And the more you develop your psychic muscles, the more you'll be aware of what your intuition is. And the more you'll be able to understand the language of the soul, so to speak. And so I started getting very, very powerful intuitions to reach out and ask one of my favorite guitarists if they were interested in taking me on as a student. And even though I wasn't in a financial position to do so, and I wasn't even sure that they'd do it, I had this intuition to do it. And I waited acting upon it because I wasn't sure. And then one day, I wake up after thinking about it, open Instagram. He's the first person there, of him just shredding on stage, not missing a single note. One of the best guitarists alive. I'm going to avoid saying names just as a general kind of rule. But I thought, you know what? That's the sign. That's the universe telling me, it's throwing this dude into my face to tell me I need to message this person. So I sent him a message and I said, hey man, are you still taking on students at the moment? I'd really love to learn from you. And he ended up replying saying, oh, sorry, man, I haven't taught in a while and I'm not really interested in it. And I was like, oh, that's cool, man. Like, if you change your mind, don't worry. And so at first, one may think, oh, I failed. It doesn't work. But what I did in that moment is that I thrust this reality of me becoming the best guitarist I can into actuality, and I planted the psychic seed for that to blossom into the fruits of what I want. And so for the longest time, I have a friend named Dale. I will name drop because he's going to be a part of what I'm doing. But Dale is a friend of mine who I've known since I was in high school, and he is by far one of the most brilliantly talented musicians on the face of the earth. Beyond talented. When you hear him play music or create music, it's like you're hearing something from a an alien planet. It's incredible. And for the longest time, I have wanted to create music for him. And we played together for a little bit. He joined my band for a very brief period of my time. We only jammed maybe once or twice. And then life did its thing and he disappeared. And this happened back in, I think, 2018. And ever since, he has been the only person I've ever wanted to play music with. And this led me to, never being satisfied with other musicians in my band. I've always been the lead guitarist, the lead vocalist, the one performing the hardest. And it's been because I've always just wanted to create music with Dale because of the expectation was set so high. And within a day or two of me asking for guitar lessons from one of my favorite guitarists, Dale and I start chatting and he asked to move in with me. And so just like that, I've requested to get lessons from someone, which I don't even know how I'm going to financially afford to do so. And then one of my favorite musicians on the planet, within a matter of days, has moved in with me, who I have unlimited access to. And upon playing together, discovered all of the things within my technique that I was doing incorrectly, and I've made significant strides toward becoming the guitarist that I want to be. And this has led me to practice guitar for 2, 3, 4 hours a day now to get to where I want to be. And not only just that, but shortly after, by being around one another and, I like to act upon the laws of attraction rather than trying to force things to happen. And just by being around him and being myself and being an honest and compassionate and empathetic person that I've learnt to become from, doing this kind of work, he then, on his own, asked if I want to start a band with him. And so just like that, through throwing this manifestation out there, I now have one of my favorite musicians and a person who has inspired me to an infinite degree, living with me and creating music with me. And I've always known for the longest time, and I've always said it, I was like, if Dale were to join a band with me, if we were to make something, we would be absolutely unstoppable. And going back to my whole concept of wanting to be a successful touring musician, I now have all the ingredients I've ever needed in order to succeed at this. And so, and again, this is the focus that I'm putting upon now. And now that I have this focus, and this is the reason why I'm kind of doing these vlogs, is because in a year's time, or less, or more, I don't know when it's going to happen, but this is going to happen. And by that point, I will be able to prove through this video series, that this is how it works, and build the momentum toward the reality that I'm trying to create, which is the world where I'm able to share to people through my own lived experience how to manifest reality for yourself, and that we don't have to live in a world that we don't enjoy. And, even through this as well, like now as I said, I've got the studio now, which I've wanted forever. Launched that business. I've launched my own business, which is Sumari Soul Academy, which is the business where I'm teaching these manifestations and psychic development. I've now got my dream band, like my dream fucking band, the one that I've been wanting for the past 8 years, that I know is going to succeed now. And the only thing that is left is to succeed financially, realistically, because this has been a very big learning process. And I came to realize that all I need to do in order to truly succeed at this is to focus on nothing else but this reality now, because I have had so much proof that this is going to work the way that I want it to. And so this is kind of the purpose of the video that I'm making right now, is that this is kind of my announcement to say that this is the first day which I'm going to be focusing on nothing but this reality. I'm not going to be thinking about, because the mistake I made with Samari Soul Academy is I have created a product, or not even a product, but I've created a course or a series of meditations which I can guarantee work. Like I can guarantee results that you will get what you want and you will get what you focus upon, and that you will be able to live the life that you wish to live if you do these techniques that I've created and learnt from. And that when I launched my business, I made the mistake of using AI, assistive AI, because everyone recommended it. If you're starting a business, use assistive AI and they'll tell you. But the problem is with AI is that AI doesn't have a soul. AI is not human. And what I am doing is I'm doing soul work. It is work to do with the soul. And I compromised my entire vision in order to do what is commonly believed, is that you have to do a soft launch and you have to do discounts and you have to try and get people involved with what you want to do and you have to build it up. Whereas that's not the truth. If you focus upon the reality that you want in all of its brilliance, it will happen. And so, and I learned as well, like, about integrity. You know, I believe the integrity is such an important thing. Inner wealth comes from inner integrity, and integrity is doing right by those around you when no one's watching. But by compromising my vision, I wasn't showing integrity to myself. I wasn't showing compassion to myself. I was causing suffering in my own life in order to serve others. And because of that, I wasn't fully passionate about what I was doing, and I wasn't delivering on the way that I should have been, because I didn't feel like I was being valued, and that value was created by myself. And so I've recreated the product. At that time I was doing like 1.5-hour sessions, which simply weren't long enough to put everything that I'm trying to do into them. Like what I've created is, it is called a psychic blueprint. And within the psychic blueprint, we go deep into the foundation of what spirituality is. We go deep into not just how to manifest, but a 24-hour manifestation cycle to use every single day that will yield you the results that you're looking for on a regular basis every single day, and allow you to understand just how powerful you are in your ability to create the reality that you want. And also having follow-up support too. And I've seen a couple of things that have been difficult. Like, I know a lot of people who work in the spiritual field, and something that they find very difficult is that when you're doing soul work, it's very difficult to not connect with the people that you're helping. And I find that a lot of people and mentors, they struggle to make the distinction between clients and then making friends with them. Whereas with what I'm doing, it is all about harnessing your creativity, and through learning the things that I'm teaching, you will find your purpose. You will find the thing that you love. You will find the thing that brings you the most fulfillment, the most joy, the most soul nourishing activities you can possibly do, where you will be in love with life. And when people manage to do that, rather than befriending them, this will put whoever you are on your path toward the thing that you love to do. It'll put you on the path to developing the business that is based upon what your soul wants. And therefore, rather than having to struggle with the mentor kind of friendship thing, it becomes a beautiful thing where I know that each of my students will eventually be able to launch their own business and evolve into a relationship of business and support, rather than, you know, trying to figure out the financial difficulties of everything. But so that's what I'm doing. That's the point of this video. I've created it because I'm announcing that from now on, I will be focusing upon nothing but this greatest reality that I wish to focus upon, without any compromises. and I'll be documenting the entire process so that anyone who is interested can follow as well. I'll be sharing as much information as I can for free. I'll be teaching manifestation techniques. I'll be teaching mental health, physical health, because everything is entwined. The fact is that when you are on your soul's journey, you have no reason to get sick. You have no reason to be depressed. You have no reason to not be in love with life, because life is supporting you and the universe will be supporting you in the endeavor that you're on. So this is kind of like my current point. I'll be making these videos on a much more regular basis now because I'll have so much more to talk about all the time. I've also had to learn how to create Instagram reels. So my kind of business plan is, long story short, I'll have the Psychic Blueprint offer. Now, this offer is $1,200 Australian dollars, but it's a full day immersive experience plus a follow-up session plus ongoing support and access to my student portal, which is my private group where there is access to all of the documentation, all of the information you need to know, plus weekly Q&As, and you have access to me whenever you need help or support on your journey, because this is a confusing thing to do. Going on a psychic venture is something that we are not taught. And so I want to make sure that if you are involved with this program, that you have access to me when you need it. On top of that, I'll also be offering one-to-one sessions. These one-to-one sessions are for people who perhaps just want a bit of guidance, that they're not ready to pay the full amount, that they just want a session. And in this session, we can go through anything. We can go through manifestation. We can go through psychic development. We can go through mental health. We can go through physical health. We can go through creativity. We can go through sleep schedule. We can go through dream interpretation. Anything you want in a one-to-one session, whatever you need, you can have it. And then on top of that, I'm also going to be creating a manifestation masterclass course, which is an online course which embodies the 24-hour manifestation cycle. So that way, because this is something that I cover in all of the Psychic Blueprint sessions. So within the Psychic Blueprint session, you also get access to the manifestation masterclass course, because that is kind of like the foundation of what we build your reality from. So, and that will be access, you'll have all access to that in the student group as well. But yeah, so this is essentially day one of creating a greater future. It's day one of hopefully inspiring others to co-create with me and to try and co-create a greater world, which has a bit less suffering and a bit more enjoyment in it. And I guess I'll see you again soon to give you the update of how things are going. So that's it for now. This is day one. You're going to see a lot more content from me. And if you ever ask any questions you need, I'll put all the links below. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing more of you. So have a good one, and we'll chat again soon. Peace.